5 annuals every gardener should grow. Who doesn't love a sunflower? And particularly if you've got children, there are months of joy to be had, from the sowing to the growing, watching your sunflower get taller and taller. Within the family you can have a competition, and if you're really going for height, something like Russian giant or the even taller American giant are going to give you meters high stalks and then great big 30 centimetre across blooms if you get that growing season right and really nurture it. And of course children love gardening. But if you're really not fussed about height, though to be honest even my other half and I with no children have had loads of fun with that, then you could go for one of my absolute favourites, the diminutive, fluffy, cuddleable looking variety that is the teddy bear sunflower. Or there are the ruddy blooms of earthwalker, you've got dark seductive varieties like claret, or I did buy as a 14th of February present once the glorious sweet little lemon variety, or medium-sized lemon variety called Valentine. I mean, there are tons of varieties out there. You can have a real shopping spree picking which sunflower you like, and they're all super easy to grow. Do you know, I don't think I've ever known cosmos seed not grow when I've sown it, when any friends have sown it, and it's such a great garden plant. If you get it sown nice and early, you get big plants, they've got frothy foliage, and there are quite a lot of different varieties nowadays. You can't go wrong with Purity, which is a gorgeous white flowered, large white single variety. If you want something slightly more adventurous, then you've got Candy Stripe with its streaky pink blooms. But any garden centre, any DIY store, plenty of high street stores that sell seeds will actually have nice mixed seed packets, very inexpensive, super easy to grow, and will give you all kinds of pink and white flowers for your garden. When it comes to poppies, you are spoiled for choice. If you think about it, actually there are tons of different varieties out there. In these 5 things videos, I've already talked about the adorable ladybird poppy with its scarlet blooms and black splodges on them, as you may expect from the name ladybird. There are the lovely pastel shades of the Shirley poppies, which are so named because it was the Reverend of Shirley who created them, who bred them. And I can't believe it, I haven't grown them yet, the Icelandic poppy. There's I think it's a party fun mix that I've particularly got my eye on and can't wait to grow. And there are the opium poppies, which you can get single varieties, and nowadays actually there are increasing numbers of really dark, ruffled, double, luxuriant varieties that you can get your hands on. And I'll probably get into trouble for adding Californian poppies to this because they're in the Eschscholtzia rather than the Papaver genus. But Californian poppies, I've only got 5, so I'm bunging them together. They're those wonderful orange, slightly poppyish but different foliage, frothy, silvery foliage that they'll bring to the garden. Months of flowers, particularly if you deadhead them, and they have these fun spiky sort of, slightly like a slender witch's hat sort of seed head, and glorious orange blooms are the most obvious ones, but there are more and more varieties available, and if you have a look sometimes you can get mixed seed packets of Eschscholtzias with pinks and scarlets and pastel shades, and they're so easy and they just give you months of interest. There is little not to love about nasturtiums. They flower freely, they're easy to grow, they have attractive foliage, you can sacrifice them to the caterpillars to rescue your brassicas, and you can eat the flowers and the foliage. Of course, there's capers from the seeds. They're wonderful, and there are so many memories I have of visiting gardens and marvelling at their self-seeded nasturtiums in all kinds of wonderful colours. And I remember very clearly the first time I saw the varieties you can get with dark chocolatey flowers, or in fact variegated ones. So definitely give nasturtiums a go, be it the standard orange variety, or experiment with one of the darker ones or some of the mixed packs, and save your own seed, because if you grow different varieties then who knows what flowers you'll get next year. I was torn with my final spot of my 5 varieties of annuals. It was nearly cornflowers, and I'll sneak them in. They're wonderful, grow them, beautiful blue flowers, and you'll get things like chaffinches on them eating the seed heads. But in the end, I had to go for Marigold. maybe because I love orange, and maybe because Indian Prince, the variety Indian Prince, has stolen my heart, but they are so easy to grow. They're great in the veg patch. Of course, traditionally marigolds grown in the veg patch. You can collect the seed, you can eat the petals, again like nasturtiums, they're edible, and there are more and more varieties, so you can go Indian Prince, or if you're looking for something a bit more subtle in your garden, there are many buff beauties for you to get your hands on. But whichever variety you go for with marigolds, with the calendula family, you absolutely will not regret it.